Kumare, mayroon. Tara, ichika natin. Hello mga mare!
Hi, people of Marawi,
Good morning, agumapya kapipita kano langon.
and welcome to iChika Station, the show that will make you embrace new things
Learn new lessons.
and conquer the house of facts and wisdom.
I am Minori Lion Ali,
And I am Aisha Hanina R. Ampog,
your host,
your voice.
your kamarites for today.
Tara, chika tayo!
In today's episode, our topic is literally part of your life. Almost everything surrounding you right now is part of your life.
Yeah, it's surely interesting.
Definitely yes. No more splitting time. Gonna discover and learn new things.
New lessons, new discovery. It's Martis time!
Introducing to you, our Chika for today is all about chemical bonding.
Chemical bonding?
Yes, it's chemical bonding.
So chemical bonding, what about it?
Well, in some researches, we have discovered that chemical bonding is a fundamental in the field of chemistry, and chemical bonding also explains concepts of molecules, reactions, ions crystal, and other stable species that make up everyday substances in our world.
In chemical bonding, according to some books, it is an attraction between atoms, ions, or molecules that enables the formation compounds.
As I remembered, chemical bonding has three common types. These are ionic bonding, covalent bonding, and metallic bonding.
Ah, you mean ionic, covalent, and metallic bonding? Yeah, I have remembered what are these three. First is the ionic bonding, which is the process of not sharing electrons between two atoms. It occurs between a nonmetal and a metal.
Definitely, that's it. Ionic bonding is also known as the process in which electrons are transferred to one another because the two atoms have different levels of electron affinity. Each atom bearing a positive or negative charge is called ion. Because of the transfer of electrons, the metal atom has a net positive charge and the non-metal atom has a net negative charge. The ion that carries a positive charge is called cation, while the ion that carries negative charge is called anion.
Basically, ionic compounds have boiling and melting points, and mostly, they form as crystal. They conduct electricity if they dissolve in water and exist as ions. Lastly, they are brittle and easily broken down into small pieces.
In comparison with covalent bonding, this is the process of sharing of electrons between two atoms. The bonds are typically occurs between a nonmetal and a nonmetal atoms. It involves a sharing of valence electrons between nonmetal atoms for them to become stable.
And in the case of two identical atoms that are bonded to each other, they both emit the same force of pull on the electrons. Thus, there is equal attraction between the two atoms. Example, oxygen gas or O2 have an equal distribution of electron affinity, and this makes covalent bonds harder to break.
While if the process is an equal sharing of electrons, then it is called polar covalent. This is considered as the middle ground between ionic bonding and covalent bonding.
But are you aware that it happens due to the differing electronegativity values of the two atoms?
Yes, I am. And because of this, the more electronegative atom will attract and have a stronger pulling force on the electrons. Thus, the electrons will spend more time around this atom.
Finally, if the bonding occurs between metal atoms, it is known as metallic bonding.
Ah, so that's the reason why metal atoms achieve a stable form by sharing its outer shell electrons with other metal atoms. The valence electrons of each atom are not tightly bound in the nucleus, so each metal contributes all the electrons in its valence shell to other metal atoms in the structure.
It may also describe as the sharing of free electrons among the structure, where sometimes the electrons are called as the delocalized electrons. And in delocalized electrons mean that it is not associated with any single atom.
And accordingly, the electrons form a sort of sea of electrons within the structure, which is why metal is a good conductor of electricity, because the electrons move freely between atoms, hence current flows. Metallic bonding is also the reason of other physical properties of metals, such as ductility, thermal and electrical resistivity, conductivity, and many others.
Time check. It's 20 past 9 in the morning. Panatilihing laging maghugas ng kamay at laging isuot ang inyong mga face masks. This reminder is brought to you by the Department of Health.
Today I don't feel like doing anything. I just wanna study chemistry. The types of chemical bonding, ionic, covalent, metallic, all of them are chemical bonds.
We're gonna start with ionic, that's the strongest type. Metal and metal are going to combine,
So they now becoming stable.
The next bond is the second strongest type, and it shares between atom and electrons.
And this type of bond is covalent. Oh, it's covalent, covalent, covalent bonding. Today I don't feel like doing anything. I just wanna study chemistry. The types of chemical bonding, ionic, covalent, metallic, all of them are chemical bonds. Bonding is so fun, fun.
Chemical bond.
Bonding is so fun, fun.
Chemical bond. Mari, tara, ituloy natin yung chika.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to iChika Station, the pod all about cutting your teeth and getting noticed in the fresh facts and lessons piece. Today, we're taking an in-depth look at learning chemical bonding that captures both the vibe of your intelligence and who you are as an avid learner. Plus, I'll teach all about chemistry to enliven your image and view on this field.
Be always updated and be the first sa latest.
Undeniably, we are Marites! So, always stay tuned for our new Chika.
For you to learn new things, new lessons, and discovery. Right now, Mr. Najib B. Pinote, a student from Mindanao State University, Marawi, SHS, will be with us today to give us an enlightenment in regard to our topic. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Pinote.
Hi, let us talk about chemical bonding. In chemical bonding, they follow a certain rule which is called the octet rule. The octet rule dictates that every atom seeks stability. Precisely, the octet rule is very clear that in order to gain stability, an atom must possess 8 electrons in its outermost energy level of valence electrons in a band, or exactly fill up its valence shell. Having 8 electrons total ensures that the atom is stable. This is the reason why noble gases, a valence electron shell of 8 electrons, are chemically inert. They are already stable and tend to do not need the transfer of electrons when bonding with another atom in order to be stable. When atoms have fewer than 8 electrons, they tend to react and form more stable compounds. This octet can be made up by own electrons and some electrons, which are said. Thus, an atom continues to form bands until an octet of electron is made. If you're wondering how or who proposed this research, the octet rule was proposed by Sir Gilbert Newton Lewis in 1916. So figuring out what's octet rule and what chemical bonding is all about, we've mentioned that the word atom for quite some time now. For further information, atoms are the basic building blocks of ordinary matter. Atoms can join together to form molecules, which in return, it forms most objects around you. I am Najib B. Pinotti, always reminding you that seek knowledge to learn, not just to know. Happy Friday!
Thank you to our guest, Mr. Pinotti Najib, for joining us today. You can rest assured that everything you have taught will be kept and remembered by our listeners. We wish you a happy day ahead.
Next week, we'll continue to help you frame your expertise in every field by helping you nail down the lessons that will give structure to your new topic.
That's it for this week's episode of iChika Podcasting. Be sure to sign up to our email list at ichikamapodcasting.com.
And follow us on your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss our next episode. I am Aisha Hanina R. Ampog.
And I am Lion Queenie Aluminor. Wishing you happy podcasting!